You're looking at a 1979 Toyota Corolla. It was available in two different models. This one happens to be the 1200. It's also available in a 1600 model. Around 1986, my father bought this car used. At that time, it had 150,000 miles. It was the very first Toyota we ever owned. He gave it to my younger sister to drive while she was in high school. Then after she graduated, he took the car and parked it at his job, so he had a ride to town. He was working for the railroad, and he just parked it at the company hotel. In '97, I started driving a car while I was visiting. I drove it off and on for a couple of years, but then all over the Northwest in it. The car was purchased in Idaho, and it was taken to Oregon. In 2000, my parents gave the car to me because I didn't have a vehicle at the time. I drove it from Oregon to North Carolina. We had the car just a few months, maybe a couple of years, and the clutch went bad on it. So we put one of those in it. And it wasn't long after that I noticed it was smoking a bit, and then we had some problems with the engine, and I just suggested that we buy one of those JDM engines. They're imported from Japan. They're low mileage, very economical. And I stuck that in a car about 20 years ago, and it's still running today. I've had it in the North Carolina mountains, the Appalachians, for the past 10 years, and you can see in the next video clip how the road salts really tore it up. But it's still a drivable car. It's really slow because it don't have much of an engine. It's just really small. It doesn't have fuel injection, it doesn't have overhead cam, none of the modern amenities that we're all used to today. But it still gets me around. I drive it around. The UPS guy used to come around and says, "Man, I see that car everywhere." At the time I was working for a day labor haul, and every time I go on a job site, somebody was trying to buy it from me. Of course, I didn't sell it, but I think the road salt's gonna put it in the grave in the next year or two. There's getting a lot of rust on it to where it's becoming unsafe. I was driving it to college, and I was in an automotive course, and the lead instructor, he would point at me and says, when Toyota first come to America, they was built to last. And he'd point at me and he says he still has one of them. Nowadays they're made to tear up. They have all those navigation systems, automatic parking, global position, a bunch of electronic nonsense that's not even needed. The air conditioning on most cars is networked through the computer, so every time you mash the gas, the air conditioning turns off. And most of these newer cars are a technician's nightmare. If you look in the background, you see a white Tercel. I bought that about 4 or 5 years ago, and I've just about restored it because these newer cars are garbage. And the older cars, 10 years or more, are fairly reliable cars that they last just about forever. The mileage is twice what you get in a new vehicle. I just wanted to share a little bit of my experience with Toyota on YouTube here. And I'm really fond of import cars, but I don't have a lot of faith in the newer ones because they're disposable. And the insurance industry basically wants to scrap out everything that's more than 5 years old. Thanks for watching, and leave me a comment when you're done. Now you'll see in the old Corolla, some people refer to it as crapolla, but they don't understand that they're one of the best cars that was ever made back in their era. Just because they're not modern, nice looking, lots of power. We're just born in and raised in a disposable era today. I was looking at something on, I think it was Dave's Farm, where they just trash everything they get, just because it's fun. What I wanted to show you is the Tercel in the background. I'm going to show you a picture of the damage. I'm stuck driving the old Corolla until I get that repaired. Right now the doctor won't let me touch it, so I just have to be patient, I guess. The insurance won't repair it. They told me the scrap value on it was $250, which I think that's kind of a joke. Anyway, the Corolla is still alive. The Tercel in the background, it's gonna be repaired. Just want to show you that these old Toyota cars are worth saving, unless they're rusted out real bad.